Hello, welcome back to Whispers of Wisdom. I'm your host, Carrie Bandel, and I'm so grateful you joined me today as we step into September's magical energy together. You know, there's something profound happening right now that goes way beyond the changing leaves and the back to school routines. We're standing at the threshold between summer's active growth and autumn's reflective wisdom. This isn't just about the weather, it's about the sacred timing of your soul's journey. Today, we're diving deep into your spiritual harvest and the beautiful concept of sacred timing. Because just like the farmer who knows exactly when to plant and when to reap, your soul operates on divine seasons that are perfectly orchestrated for your growth. And right now, in this September energy, it's time to recognize what you've cultivated and trust the timing of what's coming next. When I talk about spiritual timing and divine seasons, I'm not just speaking metaphorically. Your spiritual journey follows natural rhythms just like the earth does. There are seasons for planting seeds of intention, seasons for nurturing growth, seasons for harvesting wisdom, and seasons for rest and reflection. Most of us live in a culture that expects constant spring, always planting, always pushing, always growing. But that's not how nature works, and that's not how your soul works either. Even the most fertile farmland needs to rest between crops. Right now, as we transition from summer into autumn, you're moving from your growth season into your harvest season. And just like a farmer who's been tending crops all summer, it's time to step back and see what you've actually cultivated in your life. Your spiritual harvest isn't about material accomplishments or checking items off your vision board, though those might be part of it. I'm talking about that moment when you pause and recognize the fruits of your inner work. The seeds of intention that you planted months ago have been quietly growing beneath the surface of your everyday life. Maybe in January you set an intention to trust yourself more. You didn't see dramatic changes overnight, but somewhere along the way you started making decisions from your gut instead of your fear. That quiet confidence you're feeling, that's your spiritual crop coming in. Or perhaps you've been working on dealing with old family patterns. 6 months ago, your mother's critical comments would send you spiraling for days. But last week, when she made that familiar dig, you felt the old wound start to open, took a breath, and chose not to take it personally. And that's not luck, that's your growth that you can harvest. Here's where I love to blend a little science with our spirituality because they're dance partners, not opponents. Neuroscience shows us that our brains need time to integrate new information and form lasting neural pathways. Dr. Rick Hansen talks about how positive experiences need at least 12 seconds to begin rewiring our brains. Your spiritual growth follows similar patterns. Those breakthrough moments you're hoping for, they're actually the result of thousands of small choices made over months of consistent practice. The harvest moment, when you suddenly realize you've changed, is just the visible result of all that invisible work. And just like crops have optimal harvest times, your spiritual breakthroughs often come when you're ready to integrate them, not necessarily when you think you want them. Here's something some people don't realize: people miss their spiritual harvest because it doesn't look like what they expected. They're looking for dramatic transformation, but growth often shows up as quiet strength or gentle boundaries, or simply not being triggered by things that used to derail them. I know a woman who spent years working on self worth issues, and she was frustrated because she didn't feel dramatically different. Then one day she realized she hadn't apologized for existing in over 3 months. She stopped saying sorry for taking up space or having opinions or asking for what she needed. That subtle shift, that was her harvest. She just hadn't recognized it as such. Now let's talk about why things happen when they do and not when we want them to. Divine timing isn't about some cosmic plan that is out to frustrate us. It's about the universe's infinite wisdom about what you can handle and when. Think about it. If you got everything you wanted at the moment you wanted it, you'd miss all the growth that comes from the waiting, the questioning, the developing patience and trust. The journey between planting and harvesting is where most of your character development happens. I remember being so frustrated when I was younger because I felt like I was ready for love, but I kept attracting partners who couldn't meet me emotionally. But looking back now, I can see I wasn't actually ready for love, not that love that I was asking for. I needed those years to learn how to love myself first and heal my own wounds to become someone who could receive healthy love. The timing was perfect. I just couldn't see it then. There are different types of spiritual seasons. Just like nature has four distinct seasons, your spiritual journey moves through four predictable cycles. Spiritual spring is when you're full of new ideas and inspiration. You're planting seeds left and right, starting meditation practices, reading spiritual books, maybe even changing careers or relationships. This isn't an exciting time, but remember, not every seed you plant will grow, and that's okay. Spiritual summer is the active growth phase. You're doing the work, maybe going to therapy, having difficult conversations, practicing new ways of being. This season requires the most energy and can feel overwhelming sometimes. You might not see much visible progress, but trust me, there's so much happening beneath the surface. Spiritual autumn, which is where we are now, is harvest time. This is when you step back and recognize how far you've come. It's also preparation time for the deeper, more introspective work ahead. You're gathering the wisdom from your experiences and celebrating your growth. Spiritual winter is the season for deep rest, reflection, and integration. This might feel like nothing is happening, but it's actually when your deepest transformations occur. Just like seeds that need the cold darkness of winter to germinate properly, some of your spiritual breakthroughs need quiet incubation time. The key to spiritual growth isn't forcing yourself to be in a different season. It's learning to work with the energy of your current season. And right now, in September's energy, you're being called to acknowledge your growth. So, write down three specific ways you've changed this year. And don't minimize them or compare them to anyone else's journey. And celebrate your progress. This isn't optional. Your soul needs recognition for its hard work. Take yourself out to dinner or buy yourself flowers. Or simply spend time in gratitude for your courage. Gather your wisdom. What lessons have you learned? What insights do you want to carry forward? This is seed saving time for next year's spiritual planting. Prepare for the inward turn. As we move towards autumn and winter, your energy will naturally want to turn inward. So start creating space for reflection, journaling, and deeper spiritual practices. Here's something that might challenge you. Even your difficulties come with perfect timing. That job loss that just felt devastating, it happened when you were strong enough to rebuild. That relationship that ended, it concluded when you were ready to learn the lessons it came to teach. I'm not saying everything happens for a reason in some predetermined way. I'm saying your soul is incredibly wise about what it can handle and when. You're never given a challenge without also being given the inner resources to meet it, even if you can't see those resources yet. As you step into your harvest season, you might also be feeling anticipation about what's coming next. Maybe You're sensing new opportunities on the horizon or feeling called towards changes you're not quite ready to make. This is natural autumn energy. Harvest time is also about preparation time. Trust that whatever is coming will arrive at exactly the right moment. Your job isn't to force the timing, your job is to stay present, keep growing, and remain open to the possibilities. As we transition from harvest into the deeper autumn energy, there's a beautiful bridge that connects where you've been with where you're going, and that's gratitude. Not the surface level, I'm grateful for my car and my coffee kind, but the deep appreciation for your journey, including the difficult parts. When you can feel genuine gratitude for the challenges that shaped you, the people who taught you, even the difficult teachers, and the timing that seemed wrong but was actually perfect, that's when you know you're ready for your next level of growth. And that, beautiful soul, is what we'll be exploring more deeply in the coming months. As September grows towards October, you're not just preparing for cooler weather, you're preparing for your sacred season of introspection. This is when the real spiritual work happens. In the quiet months, when the external world slows down and your inner world opens up, start creating containers for this deep work right now. Maybe it's a daily meditation practice or journaling routine or simply permission to say no to things that drain your energy. Your soul is getting ready for its most profound season, and it needs your conscious cooperation. So, this week, I want you to step back and really look at your spiritual harvest. Write down 3 ways you've grown this year. And I mean, really grown, not just the obvious external changes, but the subtle shifts in how you show up in the world. Celebrate that growth. Thank yourself for the courage it took to plant those seeds of change and then start preparing for the beautiful inward journey that's coming with autumn and winter. Remember, you're living in a perfect divine timing, even when it doesn't feel that way. Your seasons of growth, harvest, and rest are all exactly as they should be. Next week, we're diving into the sacred art of letting go because as we prepare for autumn, it's time to release what no longer serves you. Until then, keep listening to those whispers of wisdom and trust your timing. And remember, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. If today's conversation about sacred timing and spiritual seasons resonated with you, I'd love to see you in one of our Sacred Connections workshops, where we explore these concepts more deeply with a beautiful community of women who understand the journey. The workshop is for you. We can talk about whatever direction it takes. It's a safe place and it's your time. You can find all the details at sacredwhispers1111.com. Much love, beautiful souls, and happy harvesting.